You know what came back to the theater this week? Alien, 1979 sci-fi horror. One of the very best of all time. If you don't know, Alien is a gripping sci-fi horror film released in 1979 directed by the great Ridley Scott. Set in the future, the story follows the crew of the commercial spaceship Nostromo as they respond to a distress signal on a remote planet. They discover a derelict spacecraft and unwittingly bring back a deadly extraterrestrial creature on board. As the crew members become hunted one by one, they must battle fear and distrust among themselves while trying to survive the relentless terror of the alien. The film is celebrated for its suspenseful atmosphere, groundbreaking special effects, and iconic creature design, solidifying its status as a classic in the science fiction and horror genres. All right, boys, we just got to go watch Alien this week. Thoughts? Was it not just incredible being able to go see that?
It sure was for me, and I think I remarked to you just on the side, I really had to remember what movie I was watching. I think I just watched Aliens so many times, right? I was like, well, wait a minute, this is the other one, right? What a treat it was just to see it on the big screen, the original version. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, same. That's the first time I've seen the first one in the theater on the big screen. I've seen the movie so many times, though. I mean, I probably see it on average once a year for the last 10 years. I mean, Aliens is one of my favorite franchises, along with Predator, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I see those movies, generally probably around once every year. So yeah, it was a cool experience seeing it in that quality on the big screen.
So I got to be honest, I had not seen the movie in 10 or 11 years. It had been a long time. And as I sat there and watched it, I had a very unpopular opinion happen. And so I'll just go ahead and say it. I think after watching the 45th, it's been so long since I've seen it, this re-release, I think it's the best movie in the franchise. It's a totally different flavor than Aliens. I know that's going to be a hugely unpopular opinion. If you ask 100 people, 90 of them are probably going to say Aliens is the best movie. I totally understand that. And before yesterday, I would have said that too. But there was something about seeing it. And another thing for me that I was totally wrong about was I thought that it had more of a sci-fi element to it, but it actually has a little bit more horror to it. And it had been so long since I've seen it, So about halfway through, I'm like, no, this is more horror than I remember, But it was really awesome to see it. Now, I was expecting this to be 4K. I was expecting this to be like super high quality. I think what we got was the original theatrical release, and I'm not disappointed with that. I thought it still looked incredible.
100%. It was the grain, it was everything. And I know there's a real mixed opinion on the 4K release of Aliens, which just came out, and some people saying they miss that theatrical feel of what we just kind of saw, and other people are saying, gosh, this looks great, right? It's adding a different experience and a different flavor to the movie. And for some, they're even going so far as to say they might prefer that version. So as soon as that opening shot started, I think I might even text you. I was like, it's the theatrical release. It's the theatrical version. I was over the moon, right? Because I certainly thought that's not what we were going to get. And to me, that just made the treat even more special.
Sure.
Yeah, same. When we went to this, Coach was like, this is the 4K. So I was kind of expecting that higher quality too.
Oops.
And I was like, oh, well, so they got a 4K projector in this little tiny theater.
And I was like, yeah.
In the very back. But yeah, it was just, normal theater quality. But it was still fun. It was still a fun watch. I enjoyed that movie. It's one of the few movies that I can watch multiple times, and it just doesn't ever get old to me. And then the interview at the beginning was a huge treat as well.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because what a special treat that was. And that's something that I feel like the entertainment industry is actually doing right when they're having these anniversary, editions come out in the theater, you go watch that. Usually, you get a special treat with it as well. And here we got to we got to listen to an interview, a conversation between Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez, the director of Alien Romulus. And I am really excited about Alien Romulus. Do you guys think if Alien Romulus comes out right here on the heels of this 45th anniversary re-release, this franchise could be back and strong once again? Because it's been a minute since this franchise was honestly relevant.
Well,
yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just as a related, this movie for the weekend was almost in the top 10. This movie performed better per screen than Boy Kills World, which I also saw opening this weekend. But this movie on re-release was within I think $100,000 of being in the top 10. So that not only to me shows the staying power of the franchise and the love for the originals, but on your point, if they go back to basics on Romulus, and again, I was a little disappointed. I thought along with the 4K, right, we thought there was going to be a snippet or something special on Romulus, not dissing the interview at all. I thought the interview was great, but I thought maybe we'll get what they saw at CinemaCon. Maybe we'll get something for Romulus. But I'm very encouraged by some of the things we've seen, by just Fede's reaction to Ridley and some of the things they said. Gosh, I hope it's great. I really, the franchise deserves for it to be great, and he seems to really love the franchise. So I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things in that interview that I did not ever know was that Ridley Scott had his children in the spacesuits when the crew was walking up to the derelict ship, just to make it look bigger. I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's a neat, director's trick, sort of like what they did with Frodo and Lord of the Rings. They always had him kind of, if you look closely in Fellowship, when him and Gandalf are in the cart riding, he's actually sitting behind Gandalf, a pretty good ways. But the way the camera angle is, it looks like he's sitting right next to him, but in actuality, he's actually sitting behind him. So just cool camera tricks like that, that I didn't realize that they had done in this first movie. But yeah, the state of the franchise, the movies have not been very good at all. But this one looks like it's going to be pretty decent. It takes place in between Alien and Aliens, and everything visually looks correct for the with the time frame of the original movies and stuff. It's not all like super, futuristic or anything. It's got that old school feel to it. So yeah, I hope it's great and it gets the franchise kind of back on some kind of track.
Yeah, it kind of made me think that it was a love letter to the original movie.
Yeah.
He's trying to basically recreate the original, the feeling of the original, not recreate it, but you get the feel of it. And you can't go wrong if he actually is able to pull that off. So anyways, guys, we had a great time watching the movie. Let us know in the comments what you think. What's your best memories from seeing the movie Alien? Did you go see the 45th anniversary? And what do you think about Alien Romulus on the way? Thanks for being here. We are Echo Base Network. See you in the next one.
I guess.
Bye-bye.